Welcome to another episode of Friday Night Drinks. We have a very special guest, Antoinette Sagaria. She's from Entourage Finance, and she'll be discussing with us everything about work-life balance and a little bit about property. So stay tuned.
Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of Friday Night Drinks. Today we're very lucky to have Antoinette Sagaria. How you going?
Welcome.
Antoinette, you're obviously from Entourage Finance. Tell us a little bit about what you do there, and let's get into a bit of an origin story as well.
Yeah, sure. So I'm director of property there. So we have a few different businesses that make up Entourage. It's there's Entourage Finance, Entourage Property, Entourage Legal, and Entourage Wealth. So we essentially are able to help clients from start to finish with their property journey, essentially. I get to have the fun job of buying and selling their properties or going to auctions and basically spending all their money.
Awesome.
we help them do that.
Very good, and we definitely forgot to cheers.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
Welcome.
Cheers.
It is
So
Friday
what are we
Night Drinks
drinking?
after all. This is a Pinot.
I go straight into drinking.
Yeah.
It's already, what time is it? It's definitely 1 o'clock.
What I was
It's
doing there
definitely
was
1
just for the
o'clock.
camera.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can take it still. There we
Yeah.
go. I smell strawberries.
So tell us a bit about your origin story, growing up, what got you
Yeah.
into the space.
So it's funny actually. It was never what I intended to do. It was something that happened almost organically. I was always very academic. I was studying law. Always thought I was going to be a lawyer. But my family had a big interest in property. They've always been sort of big property people. And from a young age, I was always going to auctions, and my dad used to let me bid at auctions while I was still at
Is that
school.
legal?
No, but probably worked out well for him that, he wouldn't have to sign a contract if we got it and he didn't want it. So I learned a lot from going to auctions, seeing how, that side of things worked, and also seeing, I guess, the legal side of it all. And then due to family circumstances, basically ended up taking over our own property portfolio and working for a few family friends that had a number of properties and assisting them with basically their property journey and making sure that they had I guess an idea or an objective as to what they were going to do with those properties. That worked out really well for me over a number of years, and I started to do it for more and more people and decided, well, why don't we make a business out of it? And then, sort of, I guess, long story short, a few years ago, Damien, who's the managing director of Entourage and founder, he was referring a heap of work to me, made me an offer I couldn't refuse.
That's awesome.
There were no horses' heads in beds. But certainly put me in a position where it made sense to come on as a business partner and
Amazing.
start doing it on a bigger scale. So, really cool.
That's cool.
How cool. So tell me, so we were talking before we started filming, the market's picked up at what month are we in now? April 2021. So obviously more confidence in the market as people have settled down a little bit.
The market is going gangbusters. And I think one of the big things was that people didn't realise that
They could save.
I mean, aside from Uber Eats taking everyone's money during lockdown, there was really nowhere else you could spend. So people ended up saving a fair bit of money. And a lot of businesses did quite well out of COVID. It's horrible to say, but because a lot of people did, badly out of it. But many people that we know have done quite well. They saved money. Interest rates are low. And so it's created the perfect storm. And there's always, I know it's, cliche to say, but there's FOMO. People didn't get to do what they wanted last year and they feel like they're going to miss out, and they're just spending.
I found that when I was, because I just bought a property myself, when I was looking for property, just when that time when they said, okay, you can go and visit homes and go and inspect homes, there was a lot of people wanting to buy, and I was like, where are these people? Like, I thought we were the only ones because we were ready, we were prepared a little bit, but there's a lot of people, but at the same time, they were still waiting for their finances, but they were like thinking, yes, I want to buy now, and we were speaking to a few people, and I goes, how can you buy? I saved some money during COVID. That's exactly what they said.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
so
And what are from a lending perspective, have they loosened up a little bit? Like what's...
Well, responsible lending is still, I think, that's still an issue that we're kind of dealing with. But I guess the purse strings are about to be loosened. There's regulations that are going to change, but the banks are taking quite a long time, and so people that aren't ready are what I call tourists on the market. So you see a lot of people going to inspections, and they're looking at. They probably look at more houses than I do.
Yeah, right.
There's some couples that I'll see doing the circuit, so to speak, and I'll be like, "You've seen 10 properties today. Like, surely you've got something else to do on a Saturday." So there's lots of people that aren't ready to buy that are getting in there, and I think banks are trying to speed up their processes, but that just means there's going to be more and more people with more money on the market. So I don't see it slowing down.
And what about the business specifically? How have you, over time, I've always thought that the business has done a really good job of proactively marketing and getting involved from, whether it be workshops or initiatives or just being active. What are the main, I guess, let's just look at the last 3 years, or how long has it been since you've been there? What's sort of been the catalyst for growth within the business from a marketing perspective?
Yeah, I think for us, it's definitely been education around the market. I think that's something we do really, really well. Even during lockdown, we were doing little Instagram lives with people within the industry
we
try and.
We had one of your team members do something on my charity for men. We got you one of the team members to do a financial wellness session, which was great. It
would have been Michaela.
I think so. I think so. Yeah.
So we try and give as much education as possible to people in the market, or getting ready for market, and it's not only about how to save and how to be financially responsible. It's things like how to be resourceful in the market. Don't look at properties that you can't afford. Don't waste time on things that you can't buy. I've got so many clients that will turn around and say, I want to buy a 3-bedroom house with 2 living zones that doesn't need too much work, and I've got $700,000 to spend, and I want to buy in South Yarra. And I'm like, when you find that unicorn, please tell me. I'll buy it.
Yeah.
So it's about making sure that they have all the tools to go out there and
it's building trust too, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
We've actually got an idea. I mean, we're doing it anyway, but pretty much not from a financial standpoint, but from a general property information standpoint, we're building this tech solution where someone can go and do that and say, they'd get no results if they did what you just said, but they essentially say, I'm a single 20 to 25, want to buy an investment property of this type of configuration, and then they get served filtered information that's just relevant to their profile. Obviously, we don't meet the regulatory checks to sort of give financial advice. We wouldn't be doing that, but we're just curating content so that we can build a community. And then from there, obviously, we can work with property partners and just send people in the right way and build a business that way.
Because that was one of the hardest part. Like, I was a novice buying a property. So finding information was so hard, and just to understand certain processes, where you should be buying, what you should be looking for. I didn't even know that we had to get a certain person to go and visit the home before you buy it to check it all. Things like that.
People will say to me I've had a really good look at the contract, and I was like, there are people that go to university for a really long time so that they can check your contract and make sure that you're not buying an absolute lemon. So that's part of the problem, that people don't understand the process and they don't understand that there are lots of risks involved in buying a property.
It's a very emotional process as well. So people feel like they need to own the whole thing as well, right? And they want to do it quickly. A lot of it, well, this is very generally speaking, but people just are very emotionally involved with something like this because
that's where I think we really we come into our own as well, that we do take the emotion out of it. Like, I don't care that you love this kitchen and, you know, you love the feel of the property. It's like I can probably build that for you in many of the properties that we look at. But does it have the right orientation?
Yeah.
Does it have a floor plan that we can work with? Is it termite infested?
So,
you know, what's next door?
that's great that you say that, because I love to have a little section within this video cast that tell us 3 things that you can probably say to customers: don't look for this, or don't,
or look out for
this. Look out for this, you know.
Yeah.
Give me 3 things that you can
Well,
advise
I can
viewers.
tell you a few things to not look for.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I mean.
It's things like, don't look at the aesthetic of the home other than the structural aesthetic. So
Right.
Because you can dress it up yourself.
yeah, you want a marble kitchen, I can tell you how to build a marble kitchen. I can send you to the right people to do that.
Yeah.
We've got mates down the road that do it.
Yeah.
You know, that's easy. You know, don't tell me that it has to have a pool. As long as it's got the space for a pool, I can dig
That's
a
a
hole.
great point.
You
Great.
know?
Yeah.
I look great in short shorts and Blundstones. I can help you out. But what you do need to look for is, you know, land size, orientation, which way does it face, you know, that sort of thing, because they're the things that I can't change. You know, unless you're going to bulldoze it, do you like the aesthetic of the facade? You know, that sort of thing.
Perfect.
But otherwise, it's like everything else you can build, you can change. You can even buy your neighbour and change, you know, and get a bit more land if you need to. But there are certain elements that you can't change.
That's really great information, because they're the things that people don't, when they're buying a home, they're not even thinking about that. They're like, oh, it's got a great entrance. That's it. I was like, well, you can probably change the door if you wanted to, make it wider, make it whatever it is, you know. But you're right, you should be thinking about land size, maybe structural things, you know.
And I've got clients at the moment that I'm helping them sell a property, and they're on, I'll call it one of the major arterials of Melbourne.
Right.
And I said to them, I was like, what made you buy the house here? And they're like, oh, it's all we could afford. But now we're going insane with the noise of traffic. And I'm like, well, the problem is that, yes, you could afford this, but it means that when you go to sell, they're going to get the same discount relative to the market.
Yeah.
So, you know, you've got to be mindful about what you're buying, because it's all your dollars and cents. It's literally every bit of money that you've ever made.
Yeah.
Why would you not get advice and make sure that it's something that, you know, is going to make you money in the future?
Yeah.
So this show's obviously called Friday Night Drink, so there's the intersection between the working week and the weekend as well.
Yeah.
How do you sort of have balance? Obviously, you're a very driven woman, very successful. Obviously, work hard, because unless you're given it, you have to work hard to be financially successful. We can get into what success means later, but sort of what do you enjoy doing? How do you sort of balance your life out?
I enjoy work, talking, and drinking. So we're
doing it right now.
So pretty much I can stay here all day. So that's actually a really honest answer.
Yeah.
But I mean, you're right. Like, in order to be able to work at this level, you need to be giving it your all.
Yeah.
And I think it's a really interesting concept of work-life balance. I like to call it, something I've thought about recently, is work-life confidence. Because it's not about having a balance. I don't think that you can be at a certain level in your career and it be something that, you know, come 6 o'clock on a Friday, you turn off. Because it should be your be-all and end-all. It should consume you to a certain extent. And it's about having the confidence to say, you know what, I need to get my hair done on a Friday morning. I'm going to go, not that I did, but as in, you know, I want to go to the hairdresser. I'm going to take the time out of my day, because I know that I'll make it up whenever I need to.
Yeah, there's no clock ticking. It's the output.
I do like that,
and making the achievements that are important, the journey.
And being able to strike the balance with, you know, say business partners or bosses or whatever it might be, or your team, and say, you know, I need to take some time out now, but I'm available during these hours or whatever it might be. Most people get scared to do that, and I think that's where work-life balance becomes an issue. But I'll work property into every conversation I have.
Yeah.
So, and if I'm not doing that, I'm genuinely drinking. So.
Yeah. And when you're drinking and talking about it, it's even better.
It's even better. Yeah, exactly. It's wine is definitely a passion that I've always had. During it was during lockdown. I did some further study, but 2 years ago I actually went and got I did night school and did the proper WESET course. So I'm a level 2 sommelier.
Yeah.
Oh my God. That's incredible.
Because I'm like, I want to turn a passion into something that I have a justified reason to drink anytime I want.
Wow, that's
So,
awesome.
Yeah, sometimes I'll walk around the house and I'll wear my little pin.
Yeah.
Like, what are we drinking tonight?
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's good. I like it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Coldstream's a great area for Pinot Noir. They do, some very light Pinots, very much like the Mornington Peninsula. So yeah, you picked a good one.
Yeah, it is a nice one. What do you think about the whole, I'm like people, because they know I love wine, they always ask me, what should I drink? And it's like, I can't answer that unless I know what you like. It's like a chicken before the egg type situation, right? People sort of always think, well, you're a level 2 som, which is different to me just drinking a lot of wine. But I find it really hard to answer that. How do you go about answering that question?
I generally start with anything with an alcoholic content is fine. And, we'll work from there. But I usually ask, what do you like eating? And, what sort of flavours do you like generally? And that'll give you a good indication of what wines might work for them.
See, I can't see that yet because, like, Theo was the wine drinker. I didn't drink wine, and the first time we drank, he was drinking wine, and I felt sorry because he was drinking by himself, and let's get a bottle. So I started drinking, right? But I also
started to have to buy more wine.
Yeah,
he's like, he's doing me a favour. Let's just put the bill up. 50%.
Yeah, no. You were happy when you bought that bottle. You were like, okay, let's drink together,
Yeah.
So anyway, but I associate wine with experiences. I don't know why I do that, but I do. And every bottle, I remember when I drank it and who I drank it with. I find that very different to drinking it with food. I don't understand it yet. But I do associate the flavour and the drinking of that. I do understand it, and I have this sense of like, this makes me feel a particular way right now, or I taste with an experience.
Yeah.
And I find that very fascinating because I've never experienced that before.
Yeah, it's a fun thing to experiment with. So when I was doing the wine course, we spoke about how certain white wines cut through like fatty flavours and stuff. That's why you drink a lot of, say, Riesling with Asian food. You know? And there's, what's another example? So I really like drinking Chablis with McDonald's.
Right.
Wow.
So when I'm hungover on a Sunday and I get Uber Eats to deliver like quarter pounder or a Big Mac, I think it works really well with a Big Mac, but also quarter pounder.
That is
and I'll
with lettuce.
I'll literally open a Chablis.
Oh my God.
My wife she's like, this is just too much.
I'd walk out.
And then I'll finish it later with a bit of popcorn. Later in the day, or champagne and popcorn.
Extra buttery.
So, extra buttery, perfect.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Wow.
Oh, that's great.
Cool.
So that'll be one that you remember. For
sure.
Sure.
I think that's something that I would like to down the track kind of experience a little bit. That we associating it with food. I haven't yet understood that taste, and I think you need to be drinking wine for a period of time to then understand. Okay, this wine actually goes good with this food.
Yeah. The best thing to do is to drink one wine for, say, a week. Like, as in not the same bottle, but like as in buy 3 or 4 of the same type, and then drink that with different foods. And then you'll realise what it tastes good with, what it doesn't taste good with, and why. And so that's what I would drink, just Pinot Noir for a month.
Yeah.
And then really understand what Pinot Noir is meant to taste like from different regions, and then go on to different.
Yeah, I'm slowly understanding Pinot Noir.
Sounds like a fun game.
It is.
Yeah.
It's an expensive one, but it's
Yeah.
Totally. So, we've spoken about a few things now where it's sort of like you put your mind to it and you just get it done. Do you think there's like a pattern or a formula for success other than the hard work that we've spoken about?
I think it's about work smart, not hard. I think that's always been my motto, like all through life. It's not about how much effort you put into a certain extent. It's about making sure that effort is valid and that it's going into something that is it's an efficient process.
Yeah,
so that it
not
gives
being
you
busy
something
for the
back.
sake of being busy. You're actually having actionable outcomes.
Yeah, and surrounding yourself with people that are going to help you get to where you need to be. Being social, that's a huge thing. I think I always think that it's a huge mistake when, especially with younger people in real estate or in any industry, they don't know how to pick up the phone. And they're always like, oh, I'm too busy to go to that networking function or to socialise or, to do something like this where, you sit around on a Friday and have a drink and talk about business. Like, these are the best things to do to grow your network,
Completely.
to learn from other people and ultimately to be successful.
Putting yourself in the right positions.
Yeah, thanks for adding to my success.
No worries, anytime. Anytime. Do you have a list of quickfire questions on a phone at all?
Yes, I do.
So it's like a lightning round situation.
I was going to say something too that I read a little bit about that you follow Dr. Chantel Thornton.
Oh my God, I love her.
Okay, it was funny because I saw that. And
I think she's amazing.
Yeah, she's actually amazing. And the reason when I saw her, like, oh my God, you follow her. So I met her.
Oh, good.
I met her at a wedding. And at the wedding, it was funny because like no one was dancing, but her and her husband got up and started dancing. And me and my wife got up and started dancing with them. And they were like so much fun when we met them. They were so nice.
Yeah.
And I found it funny that you actually, follow her and like find her because she's a great lady. Yeah,
she was
she's
texting
amazing.
me this morning actually, so that's really funny. Yeah,
she's amazing.
Yeah, I think she
the work that she does is amazing.
She's honestly like a pillar of success in the sense that I think that everything that she's ever worked towards is exactly what I would like to replicate in my career and in my life.
Yeah.
I think she's the work that she does for for breast cancer and breast cancer surgery and all of that is amazing. I'm clearly never going to be able to do anything like that, but she's social. She dresses extremely well. Yeah. Has the best jewellery collection I've ever seen.
She recently had a baby.
Yeah, she's recently had a baby. She's very personable, extremely intelligent.
Yeah, she's really nice.
Yeah, I remember the first time I met her, she literally was firing questions about, so what do you do? How do you how do you do it and everything else, and tell me a few things about your business that I wouldn't know. Yeah. They're very confident questions to be asking someone, and I was blown away. So,
What in 1920?
I'll just get you to open that up for me. Awesome. So I'm going to fire some questions and I need you to answer really quickly. So what motivates you?
Money.
Great. What is one quote you find yourself referring to frequently?
I'm going to have to come back to that.
Yeah, okay. Who's your biggest inspiration?
Or Dr. Chantel Thornton.
Yeah, great. Who's your favourite musician?
Tame Impala.
Yes, very good. Very good.
Yes, love it.
Bonus points.
Yeah, bonus points there. Where's your favourite place to go to unwind?
Bodega.
But take a Tusker on Lygon Street to go get wine to come home. Usually a wine bar.
Awesome. And what is one quote you find yourself referring to usually? I'm going back to it.
Oh gosh, I don't know. I actually don't know.
Yeah.
Something about working smart, probably.
Yeah.
But I
work
can't
smart.
think. Yeah, work smart.
Yeah.
Or make hay while the sun shines. That's my new one at the moment.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Amazing. Thanks so much for coming past.
Yeah, thank you.
Had so much fun. Cheers.
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 Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
See you next time.
See you.
Cheers.
Bye.